Hi. Sorry I'm a bit late. I scheduled the stream on my phone and I was like, great, now I can do the thing that I learned how to do this week, which is use Streamlabs, but with my phone as the webcam so it can be landscape, but apparently you have to schedule the stream from the Streamlabs app, so I couldn't attach this to that. So so we'll have one more portrait stream. Hi, Winter. Good to have you. Here are the goats. And I brought my laptop up here too, which didn't technically have to if I... But oh well, it's a learning process. So, how are we doing? Hello, goats. Yes, the goats and all of us, the goats. So let me know what you're drinking, what you're working on. This is me mentally thumbing through the Alt-Nots live streaming playbook. Not to like copy their stuff, but I have learned a lot from them. Tap water, nice. All right, I did remember my sparkling water. Sarah, you're here. Good to, it's awesome to have Spud friends here and making a baby blanket, cool. All right. Time for incense. So, as you might know, my patron god's name is Gwyn, as in Gwyn Appeneve. Yes, don't worry, we'll be here when you get back. Ooh, fries, yes, Buzz Squad. And get the coffee. So anyway, my patron god's name is Gwyn, so that leads to a lot of fun puns, especially since he's, for me, he's the one that gives me the Awen, which is Welsh basically for divine inspiration. And my sense is that he thinks puns are just as worthy as the epic poems for something that he would want to inspire. So I call this Gwyn sense. That was the point that I was getting to. Ooh, fire. Yeah, definitely. I feel like puns and wordplay is very much like it's a lot more common in oral culture, it seems like. And not to get super like on my soapbox right now, but I have thoughts about the reasons why culturally maybe puns are seen as lesser. I think it's because they're associated with cultures that would have been conquered by other cultures. So yeah. Anyway, I'm burning sandalwood rose from my local witchy shop. And these are really cool, like they're incense matches, and they have a cool moon and star night sky thing going on. This is the phone stand I usually use, or try to use. I've realized it doesn't really work for my needs. But it's beautiful, and it was $1, so those are why I got it. Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you. I love that box too. I was thinking about whether I would need anything. When I thought my phone was going to be higher and like horizontal, I thought, well, my goats will need a boost, but they're fine right here. But this is what they usually sit on. It's my one of my crafting bags, which my friend got as a going away present. And I forget where it's from, but I think I had the shop name. I couldn't find the exact bag because they have a lot of different bags in their shop, but I think I found the shop for this type of bag in my tour video. Yeah. And one cool thing is it snaps. And it has a hand strap, so that's nice. I'm not sure what to use it for yet because I have a lot of projects, but they're often like really big. So, yay, you've come back. Welcome with the coffee. I was just talking about how this. Yeah, puns are great. Yeah, I mean it is very pretty. I have basically just been using it for part of the decoration on my desk with the goats on it. It's a very nice mat for them. They technically have a cushion, but they don't. This one has trouble not falling over at the best of times, so putting him on a cushion is sometimes not the best, although right now he seems like he can stay on it. But I was thinking I could put some of my... Well, that's very helpful. The shop name is stitched in here, so I didn't have to go looking. Crafty like a monkey. I know it's probably backwards, but yeah, I was thinking I will probably put some of the stuff that I normally need to bring up here, because it takes several trips to bring all the stuff up here. Oh, good. I'm glad it's showing the right way. This is what I do with nice stuff. I never use it and it stays on my shelves. Yeah. Coffee was much needed in order to be a somewhat functioning person today. Yeah, me too. I didn't sleep very much last night, partly because I was doing fun things, and then also because I was like, well, now I'm tired, but I keep thinking about recent trauma in my life, and I don't want to sleep now. But yeah, that's why we have coffee. Right, I was hoping that this would be an easier way to get a close-up than on my in my filming, which seems like it never happens. But yeah, it's of course now it's also shiny. But this is an Ann Stokes mug. I think the Yule Dragon, if you want to look up which one it is, and then it has the Wheel of the Year, winter solstice on the back. Oh, hi, Draka. Good to have you. And right, I'm actually showing a project today that's my main first mosaic crochet project, but this was my absolute first attempt at it, and I made it as sort of a shawl for this goat, but there's like, yes, witchy vibes are always welcome. In other people's streams, I'm usually like, I don't want to go full witchy, because even if I know that they're cool with it, I don't like for me it comes along with a bunch of like deep mystical thoughts about my gods and the nature of justice in the world and stuff like that. But here you're welcome to talk about that as well as crochet and yarn, obviously. So, right. I mentioned the Hobbii Halloween yarn. Some people are not necessarily okay with it in comments and such sometimes. Yeah, that makes sense. And like that's fine. Like not everyone has to be into it, but it is nice knowing that we do have a place where we can go full witchy. So anyway, this is my first experiment with mosaic crochet. Both of these things are from patterns that I bought. Sixel Home, the Gravity, and Northern Tile by someone. I don't know. I I have the shop and the pattern name in a different video, I think. Thank you. Yes, it is. It came out so good. I technically this is like I think the pattern's written so that you have one main color and then it fades through a rainbow, so it looks like the Northern Lights. And I wanted something that showcased the yarn, which I felt looked like it looked like space on its own, but I wanted a pattern that like yeah. Yeah, I did each square and then I single crocheted them on because I don't mind the edge that creates, and it seems like it's much less hassle than mattress stitch or any other thing that I've learned. So, oh, and this one is two different kinds of sparkly yarn from Ice Yarns. And this is also a Sixel Home pattern. Roses and Thorns. Thorns, yes. And the black yarn is the same as in the other places where I use black yarn, but this is some of the rainbow sparkly shawl in a ball left over from when I did the Pride crop top pattern testing for alt knots. So I didn't expect how far that yarn would go. So yeah, I'm doing a blanket pattern right now that she wrote to be continuous join, and I was not a fan. Gave it a try, but I'd rather slip stitch or single together the squares. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, and the thing I'm working on right now is since all the squares are kind of different, I started with this cross shape in the middle, and then I kind of filled in the edges, and now I have to fill in the sides, and so this is one of the like side fill-in pieces where I'm doing basically a star pattern with just some yarn from my stash. And oh, thank you. Yeah, the rose squares are from a Sixel Home pattern. Oh, thank you. Yeah, speaking of color work, this is actual like normal color work where I go back and forth, whereas mosaic crochet, you you do one row of one color, and then the pattern is created by doing double crochet in a lower row, so that there's a post, and that creates the break in the pattern, so it's not just like this. That yarn is currently attached, so putting it over there for now. This is what I'm using for the stars. It's just a tiny bit of sparkly yarn that I don't know where it's from, but it's I wound some peach crochet thread with this yellow white sparkly yarn. So sorry, let me catch up on comments. Yeah, I wasn't sure I wanted to get into mosaic crochet for a while, but I was finally like, you know, it looks like I could do some cool stuff with this, so let me go ahead and try to learn it. And once you learn it, it's as long as you're just doing the simple version of like single or drop down double crochet, then it's really easy. That I was tearing my hair out with the 6-hole home patterns because they do so many of the increases and decreases and slanted stitches and like skips, and then 2 double crochet in the same stitch, and it was very confusing to try and read the chart because I'm not used to that. I think I've finally gotten to where I can kind of parse what's going on, but it took quite a while. And congrats on winning a Boss Kitty free shipping code. Oh, I don't remember that. Did that happen when I wasn't? I might have left the stream, and then that happened for the wheel of goodies and the Goof Maps. I will have to go and. Whoa. Well, now I have to buy more yarn from them. Wow, thanks. I did not know that. I was on the stream, but then my housemates had to use the room that I was in, so I was like, well, you know, I've been on about the length of one stream is as much as I can do at one time. So I was like, you know, I'm good with just going and doing other stuff now. But that's cool. I'll have to go check that out. Thanks. And let's see, what did Draka say? I'm still working on the socks and ginger snap blanket. Didn't have any time or energy to work during the week. Looking forward to trying a Tunisian project when I can learn it soon. I'll have to contact them on the Discord. Okay, I will look that up and do the appropriate thing. But yeah, I haven't learned Tunisian crochet yet, partly because you have to get separate tools for it, partly because I know it's not knitting, but it reminds me of that, and like it's awesome to see other people do it, but I'm just like, I don't want to knit anymore. And yeah, I haven't had as much energy during the week as I would want either. So hopefully you can take some time now and just like work on stuff that you want to. And I'd also love to see what you're working on. Ooh, you got more spice yarn to make more wolf blankets. Nice. Okay, speaking of Boss Kitty, I did. I'm not going to have my full address on stream. Not that I'm worried about you, but just like since this is going public, I'm like, oh, maybe I should not have that. I'm still from the generation where we were told never tell anyone anything about your personal life on the internet. Well, I would love that. So that's just encouragement to get a PO box. Like part of the reason I'm thinking about the other people who live here who I don't know if they want their address out there, but yeah, I've been planning to get a PO box so that I yes, yeah. I mean, in the context of buying from Etsy, like it's very different from like anyone who happens along to my stream, but um, and again, I'm not worried about you, just like random people, but um, yeah, I'm thinking about getting a PO box or planning to as one of my growing my business YouTube channel things because of course I want to have a place where people can send things if they want to. And Spuds counts as something I would like to get. Speaking of Happy Mail, yeah, it's true. Oh, picked up a couple extra cakes to make it longer. Ooh, nice. I actually picked up a couple extra cakes of one of the Hobbii Halloween yarns. I think the pink and black one that I used. One of the ones in the squares, because I realized I need more sparkly yarn, and I was like, well, they still have it, even more discounted than it was last time. So, yeah. Right, I need to go ahead and open this. This is what I got on the Black Friday yarn sale. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten which colors I got other than Coraline, but I knew it was a couple of purples. One thing I love is that the two purples I got were both, like from reading the name and the description, the two purples other than Coraline, I thought it was kind of funny that they both refer to some kind of, hopefully this isn't triggering, but they both refer to some kind of the bodily harm, which is just not that the subject is funny, but it's just funny that the two I happen to get both are like that. And they are the Nurple and murder mittens. So like apparently a Nurple is like when you twist these, and the murder mittens are when a cat's like. And then of course I also got Coraline. Yes, yeah. Wow, I love how subtle the sparkle is in person. Like, I also love in your face sparkle, but like, this is the Coraline. It's very blue. I didn't realize, or I'd forgotten how like blue it is as well. It's kind of purpley, but just very blue, and that's awesome. Murder mittens. Ooh, Scotch loves to throw his murder bits around, I'm sure. This is such a nice, like, wine red. And I got them all in the same weight. I was wanting to get Nurple in a different weight, but I they didn't have it, and I realized, wait a minute, I wonder what weight the kitty glitter is, because that's what this is. So it is actually whatever this weight is, which is thinner than I was thinking. 2023 Pantone color. Ooh, well, I'll have to look that up. And this is Nurple. I love this purple. It's so rich. It also looks like, oh, maybe that's what I'm doing with this. As a witchy type, sometimes I get things and I don't know what I'm doing with them, and then suddenly I understand, oh, that's why I felt like, oh, I just need this. I don't know why, but I'll find out later. Sometimes it's for a god I haven't even met at the time, but then I'm like, oh, so I was being given supplies or gifts in preparation for that. Yeah, sometimes the yarn has to speak to you for a minute, even aside from pagan stuff. Like that's also true. So I was thinking, this looks a lot like the color I associate with Dionysus, because grapes and wine. And then I looked at all three of them, and I'm planning to put them in a project, all in the same thing. So I was thinking, they also look kind of oceany, but also like winey. And in my practice, oh hi kittenmins. We're talking about speaking of cats, the Boss Kitty yarn, which I got from the Black Friday sale. Apparently, I need to get more, because I was just informed that I won a shipping code, like a free shipping code. So, oh well, I guess I have to get more yarn. What a hardship. Yeah, they did. Their shipping is really good, but yeah, so if you're familiar with Dionysus, you're probably familiar with him from the Greek myths or the. I have a lot of friends who are Hellenic polytheists, but he's also in the Minoan myths, which are like, oh no, I have to get more yarn. Yes, but there's a lot of different people who have tried to reconstruct a spirituality or pantheon based on the ancient Minoans, but the one I'm in is a specific one that's called modern Minoan paganism, which I call MMP for obvious reasons, because it's hard to say. But it's not implying that the others are like not modern, but it's just like that is the like we're not trying to comment on the truth or yes, I'm a big fan of his too. Even before I met Gwen, I was like, there's something about that guy. It sounded so much more fun to be a Maenad than like going to church and having to be a good church girl, because as a oh cool, I think Winter also is, right? Follower, or like has does things for the Baba Yaga. She's also awesome. When I mentioned Slavic paganism to another pagan, it doesn't exist. That's Norse paganism. Yeah, I kind of have that with Minoan paganism, where it's very similar to Hellenic, but it's kind of an older layer, because they were conquered by the Mycenaeans, who are Greek, basically. Um, and this isn't me saying that it's better um, or anything like that. Just like it's a little bit different, but has um, connections. And also, thank you for new people coming, and also all the people who have shown up. Like, this is such a fun stream, and I haven't even crocheted a stitch yet. But it's been fun talking about pagan stuff and opening yarn. But oh yeah, that is good to know. I'm glad when it's just like it's not like isn't there a saying that's like never attribute to malice what can be attributed to ignorance, and that's not always like that's nice when it's true, but sometimes you have to say, okay, it doesn't intent doesn't always matter. Like, what that person said wasn't, I mean, sometimes you're like, well, what this person said wasn't cool, even if they didn't know. But it is nice when it's just like they haven't learned yet, but and not something that they have thought about and chosen to say. But yeah, anyway, Minoan stuff. Minoan Dionysus is associated with the sea, is what I'm trying to say. So I have a lot of ocean themed things that predate my any kind of close connection to him, that now I'm starting to be closer because he's one of the brothers of the Minoan face of Gwyn, and this is based on personal gnosis and conversations with the gods. So we do try to look at what the historical and archaeological record says, and I'm not the one to talk to about that. I have friends who are much better at that, but there's also the main thing is what the gods tell us. So oh, cool. I'm happy to hear that, Sarah, because it's nice to have feedback from someone who's not themselves like super into it, but also doesn't mind hearing about it, because it is basically one of my special interests. So I will talk about it all day. Ooh, Baba Yaga predates all other witches, way before the witches of Endor in the Bible. That's cool. I put my matte chaos print of a moth, and now it's her matte chaos print. Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're just like, oh, that's cool, mine. There's a moth on this. That's a cool connection. I think I should hydrate and also drink coffee. Then maybe I can crochet a few stitches. I'm actually almost done with the square I was showing you earlier, in between two of the Sixel Home mosaic crochets. Right, good. Where am I? Oh, here we are. Cool. Took me a minute to find the active stitch. I'm half doubling across the back currently, which is a really funny thing to say. I'm half doubling. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love this one. This one is probably going to turn out to be for a different Minoan god who they keep showing up in my life, and I'm like, wait a minute, you were here for a long time. I just didn't know it was you. To be fair, Gwen did that too, but oh right, I was gonna say I'm closer to several of the. I'm getting closer to several of the Minoan gods, partly because um, it can be really hard to tell when they're separate beings and when they're the same and or faces of each other, and sometimes they're just like, well, that doesn't that doesn't really matter, and we can't tell you, so meh. So it's been interesting learning how to look at it from that very different perspective, where like um it doesn't feel like they're at all in danger of being assimilated by that. um when I do understand them as kind of both being one, it doesn't feel like they're in the individual selves are any less vibrant, which is nice, because like I kind of grew up with the idea that, well, if you're not individual, then you're like Borg. So, but thankfully it doesn't seem like that. But so in this path, the equivalent of Gwyn and Dionysus are the brothers or faces of the same sun, the SON, but like there's the three sons, the three mothers, the three daughters. Um, and it's not that it's a matriarchal culture, but it's a matrilineal or matrifocal culture. So the role of father isn't that important, and so there's not really one in the pantheon that we found. Not that it's not valid when people want to be a father, but like it seems like from my understanding, is in those cultures, like there's the mother and then the mother's brother, who kind of fulfills the role of what we would think of as a father in raising the kids. Anyway, if you've heard me mention Minos, who this goat was named after and might be an incarnation of, I'm not sure. The night goat. That is who this is looking like it's from, or for. From also works probably just like, from, for. He's a moon god, and his realm is the night sky, so it feels like that fits. I love learning about the shenanigans with the Baba Yaga. So thanks for sharing that in the chat. And I think that might be all I have to say about MMP right now. I'm like, well, I don't want to talk your ear off about it, but I kind of will, though. Come for the crochet, stay for the ancient god stuff. Oh yeah. No, please talk our ears off. Oh, thanks. Love that smoke. Got a light stage now. Yeah. I love how it shows up on camera. Like, it's so good. This is what my incense board looks like. I also got this one from our local witch shop, and it's nice to finally have an incense holder. I haven't before. Whoa. That's so cool. Like on camera, it looks even more awesome than oh yeah, thanks, Sarah. That is awesome to hear that you don't mind. And Oh no, your roommate stole some of your vodka. Yeah, especially when it's an offering for someone that might not be as understanding as a human. It's like, friend, that might not be a good idea, even just aside from the fact of don't take your roommate's stuff. But do not do things on purpose that might make the oldest witch mad. I don't know many of the legends about her, but I always love the ones that I know. Yeah, like it's like that. Like I'm not saying this at you. I'm saying like I also feel like this, but it's like that picture of the guy with the red string and the board. Like my these are my offerings for the ancient gods. Yeah. Ooh, we're working on a doll. I know the good feels I'm getting from here will intention the hell out of her. Nice. I am glad to hear that. I want my streams to be like a really fun and um, comfortable place. So yeah, and it's interesting because I'm still just at the beginning of building up my channel. So I appreciate all of you being here when it started. So um, like I don't want to get super huge so that I can't follow the chat, but I I am looking forward to having more and more goats. Oh, by the way, I should let you know I will not be here next Sunday because I have speaking of MMP, I have a monthly like server Zoom chat on the Discord server that we're on. So it's at the same time as this. But I will be here hopefully, next Thursday, because I'm planning to start streaming Thursday nights, 5 p.m. my time. So that is the same time of day as the Alt streams. So, which I did on purpose. Hi, Ray. It's good. Good. Um, good to have you here. Oh no, who tangled your yarn? Oh, your ex-husband has been trying to get us back together and brought an offering of marmalade. Well, I I know that your judgment is best on your own relationships. I'm I My ex-husband is the reason I'm a DV survivor, so my perspective is always colored by that. So if I seem like a bit more a bit more alarmed by that than you are, that is why. But I don't know your ex, so but I'm happy that you got some the marmalade. Oh, cool. Yeah. Thanks. I um I I I I always appreciate it when people like how I say things because I'm not always sure that like I think about it carefully, but I'm also like, but could I have said it better? So, um, yeah, I'm glad that you're. It seems like you have the matter under control. You could be like I'm not sure how if this is a good idea, but I was thinking of how some female the monarchs and such, like the main example would be the first Queen, 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 Queen Elizabeth. They wanted her to get married so bad, and so she'd just be like, "Well, I could marry you, or I might marry you," and like she kind of played that to keep herself in the best possible situation for as long as she could. And I'm not saying I'm not saying like I'm a huge fan of the British or any other monarchy, except maybe like the Fae one because Gwyn. But I think it is fun how she was very savvy in a time period when it was very difficult for women to have power. So you could have a version of that with just like getting more marmalade. Yeah, she is an icon. Um, 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 honestly. One one of the non-toxic things that I have from my family of origin is that my mom is a huge fan of her and of that whole time period, and she doesn't have a formal master's or anything like that, but I feel like she has the equivalent just in books she's read and kind of taught herself. So that's cool. And one thing I learned from her about Queen Elizabeth I is that she would astonish visiting guests by the way that she would dance. She would like take these great leaps, and I'm just thinking of her in her full gown with the collar, just leaping on the dance floor. So, and the foreign princesses end up being like, "What? Wow, who who is this queen?" Elizabethan thirst trap. Anyway, yeah, we are fans of her, and in this stream it seems like, so that's good. I think I just have one more row because even though this side is longer and it will need a separate thing to go for the rest of the edge, this side is just about done. I think I have a couple more. I think this is the top edge, so I just need to go back across one more time. And then this will be even. And then, oh yeah, I am glad to hear that you had a good time, and yep, come back either in 2 weeks at this time and day, or Thursday if you happen to be free. And have a good day. I actually have to go soon as well. I don't know the exact time it is right now, but I reserved the office from 10 to 11, and I'm like, maybe if I hurry I can do one more row, because I don't think it's like a strict cutoff where someone else is just at the door right at 11:01, but I also don't want to make a habit of going too long. So I mean, I would love to stay and chat with y'all all day as long as my voice and company spoons hold out. But I'm glad I caught that early. I started going in the, I'm doing half double in the back loop, and I accidentally started in the back loop as if I were currently facing the front, but you are facing the front. So I have to do the closest loop to me. Oh, fun things. I have a bunch of more. I was going to do an unboxing video for this, my new Boss Kitty yarn. If you weren't here, then it's also this. If you can see it through the incense, but I was like, but I've been waiting for several days to open that to see if my other stuff will get here, and I want to go ahead and see the yarn in person. Yeah, the purple is gorgeous. I think it's the one called Nurple. And so anyway, the point is I have other things on the way, including some new crochet hooks, because I realized I really need a 4 and a 4.5. I'm doing a commission for my housemate where she asked for the weave to be tighter, and I said, yeah, I can probably do that with a smaller crochet hook, but I don't have any smaller than a 5 right now, and I don't know if I used that in the previous version of the shawl we were looking at. So I thought, well, I'll need these sizes. I'll need these sizes anyway. So I may as well just go ahead and get them. And I have some more yarn too that I'm going to be showing. And apparently more Boss Kitty yarn is in my future because I want a shipping code. Might as well treat yourself. Yeah. It's so interesting, like being able to, like I have a lot more funds than I did out for most of my adult life, but and I have to be careful because I'm using them to build up my business and like pay rent in the meantime, because like the important thing was getting out of my extremely toxic parents' house, and like I think I'll be fine while I'm building up my business for a while, but it's nerve-wracking honestly, because I'm like, okay, so that bridge is burnt. I have to make sure the road ahead is good, because that is the option. So, but on a happier note, I do have a lot of fun plans. Like I'm thinking about I'm looking into how I can actually start dyeing yarn, because I know that we all want spooky yarn all year round, and I'm a dyer that is actually happy to do that. So yeah, winter. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but also glad that you get it, and good luck to both of us. But yeah, spooky yarn. I'm excited. I'm excited to learn how to dye yarn, and also since wool is hard for me to work with. Now I can cut this yarn. I think I do want to have wool for people that want that as a base, but I might be like, I might have maybe plant fiber and silk as the thing that I'm, also maybe acrylic as the things that I'm known for, along with spooky yarn and like sparkly space yarn. So it's fun thinking about the things that I can build up as my yarn dyeing persona brand. I love how like in your face the sparkle is in this. It's ice ice yarn. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've heard some people talking about like, hey, there aren't many hand dyed acrylic yarns too, because it's seen as something that's fancy, and it is, but like, um, synthetic fiber is seen as not fancy, but maybe it could be. For one thing, it's like so easy to wash. I'm not sure if hand-dyed yarn would be as easy to wash, but still. Have you thought about doing a subscription box for like my yarn? I haven't, but that's a good idea. I will have to note that down. And I call my business plans my. It's funny that I'm stuttering on this because the word I'm trying to say is Sinek. If you said it right, hand-painted synthetic yarn should be okay to wash. Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, my nickname is Sinek, as well as thorn and goats and all of that. But so I called my ideas for this, or my small business building type things, my Sinek business, which is really funny because like I'm imagining a small serpent, which I'm going to say because it's an easier word, but like a tiny serpent with like a briefcase or something. Anyway, I should probably let you go now. Sinek, I'm very excited, not only that you're here and like having fun, but also that I know that there's interest in the ideas I'm talking about, like my hand-dyed yarn and stuff. As much as I love my pixel art graph cans, I know that that's going to be hard to find the right market, because a lot of people see it and they're like, whoa, that is too much color work, and that's fine. and a lot of people are don't necessarily want something that's like a pattern that's not safe for work, which is the main type of pixel art that I do. I mean, some people do, and there's not a lot of it out there, or like pixel art color work charts. But it's like I had to do a bit more work to like find the right audience for that. But I'm gonna keep doing it because it that makes me happy. But also, I really love the idea of dyeing yarn, so I'm glad that is also a thing that I can do that will probably help grow my Sinek business. So anyway, yeah, it is time to goat. Thank you for being here. Dragon, witch, cauldron, cheers. Bye.